A viral video of a Trump supporter is making the rounds on the internet, and it is awesome. Take a look.
What is something that you believe the president has done well?
Hit. I, I'm not really sure. I just support him.
That was awesome. I can't. Nope. Yeah. Nope. Nothing. Couldn't name a thing. That is quite an admission. So you support the guy, but you have no idea why. You can't name one positive thing that he's done. Wow. So why would you support somebody like that and continue to support him? Well, look, I've actually got a couple of ideas, right? So look, when it comes to Trump support, a lot of it, and I think this is true on both sides. Family and community, big factor, right? Where you grow up and what political identity your parents are, and your people around. Look, let me give you an example here, right? So I knew somebody who was disabled and on food stamps, lived in Section 8 housing, right? Poor as poor could be, getting taken care of by the state. She was a Republican, registered Republican, right? Voted all the time. So I asked her one of these days, one day, I was like, so look, you depend on these programs to survive. Republicans keep trying to cut these programs. Why on earth would you vote Republican? And her answer simply was, well, that's just what we do. My mom's a Republican, my dad's a Republican, my family are Republicans, and so I'm a Republican. That's it. Now, another big factor, and this is certainly related in her case as well, is you have the church, right? Church is community. Donald Trump does really, really well with evangelical Christians, right? So this to me is a great example of identity in politics. Now, I'm not talking about identity politics, which is actually different, but they're also connected, right? This person, very likely he votes Republican because being a Republican is just part of his identity. I mean, simply put, if you can't think of any good thing that your candidate has done or any good reason to support them, well then, why are you a Republican? Why are you a supporter? Maybe you ought to sit back and think about, now wait a minute, why am I supporting this? What are my values, right? And look, again, I think this person is a Republican just to be a Republican. Policy doesn't matter. Job performance doesn't matter. He's a Republican. That's all it takes. I mean, he couldn't even come up with one single thing like, well, he's trying to build a wall. That's fairly simple, right? And it shows that, hey, I like his policy on immigration, but he's having a little bit of problems, but at least he's trying to build a wall, right? Or, the economy is doing pretty good. And like, again, that's a basic surface level understanding of technology, the economy and jobs. But couldn't even do that. Donald Trump's just a Republican. That's all it takes, right? So now I wish this phenomenon only happened on one side, or not at all, right? Generally, I'd rather nobody, think in that way. But it's widespread, as I've seen Democrats do the same thing. I've seen a lot of comments like, I don't care, I'm a Democrat. I don't really care about policy. All I care about is voting for Democrats. Okay, but what policies do you support? Do you support Medicare for all? Do you support single payer? Do you support, free college? Do you support a living wage? What do you support? And it doesn't matter. I'm just a Democrat. Well, I'll vote for Joe Biden because he's not Donald Trump. Okay, but what about the policy? Policy matters. Oh, no. Joe Biden's a real Democrat. That's why I could never vote for Bernie Sanders or any kind of progressive like that doesn't wear the helmet. And this is the problem with the team mentality, okay? I'm progressive. You guys know this. So obviously I tend to vote for Democrats because I'm more aligned with Democrats on policy, even though in many cases I'm to the left of the party. I've also endorsed Bernie Sanders. Bernie Sanders is an independent because he's more progressive than the Democratic Party, just like I am. And so to me, policy matters, but there are people out there, and believe me, I've seen them on Twitter, who say, look, I'm a Democrat. Bernie Sanders is not a Democrat, so I'm never going to vote for him. It's never going to happen. Whatever. I don't care. I don't care. But see, here's the thing. You've got to care. What about the policy? The policies matter the most. The letter on your helmet doesn't matter if you're not fighting for the right policy. Look at, for example, somebody like Henry Cuellar, right? Henry Cuellar is Democrat. Votes 70% with Donald Trump. How's that a guy a Democrat? Joe Manchin votes overwhelmingly in favor with Donald Trump. How's that guy a Democrat? Jeff Van Drew was formerly a Democrat, and then he said, oh, I embrace the light of who I really am. Turns out I'm really a Republican. Well, at least you were honest about it and went and joined the Republican Party. It doesn't matter. The policies matter the most. Now, look, and this guy, here's the thing. I guarantee you a lot of the coverage on this guy is going to be about, dumb Trump supporter, can't say nothing, right? But here's the thing. They'll ignore the fact that there are Democrats out there that sound the same way when they talk about Joe Biden or Pete Buttigieg. I don't care. He's just a Democrat and he's better than Trump. Well, how do you know? How do you know? Here's the thing. I know why I support certain candidates. Bernie Sanders, for example, I support him because of his policy positions and the fact that he has changed the conversation on healthcare towards single payer, a single payer Medicare for all option or system. And I think that is much, much better than a public option or what we have with the ACA, because it will actually fix a lot of the problems in healthcare. He's also introduced legislation on student loan debt, on canceling student loan debt, reducing the president's war powers, stopping the flow of weapons to Yemen, working with Republicans even to help veterans. And so there are things that Bernie Sanders has done and has pushed for that I support, and that's why I support him as a candidate. So I know why. But apparently there are a whole lot of people that have no idea what they stand for other than, well, I'm just on that team. And this guy is one good example of that. Now, what I hope that there are people that have enough sense to realize, hey, you know what? Maybe I do need to go and re-examine what team I'm on. Or maybe instead of playing team politics, I should actually look at the policies and what they stand for and the record of what they've done before I decide to throw my hat behind a candidate. That's what I hope will happen. Unfortunately, I don't really see it happening. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent progressive media.